Hi everyone, this is Amelia and today we are going to work on training flying changes. This is a 6-year-old and he's still pretty green with the changes. So the first thing is make sure that you have a good quality canter and that you can also ride the counter canter. So you want to have a clear 3-beat canter that's uphill, and you want to be able to also make adjustments in the canter that you can ride a little bit forward and a little bit back. So here you can see I have a nice uphill frame, good 3-beat rhythm, and then here I'm going to go into a little bit of counter canter. You see how my outside leg, my right leg, stays back, and this is super important for when you start the flying changes, that you always maintain the proper leg position. So for the right lead canter, your left leg is back. For the left lead canter, your right leg is back. So you can see here I have a nice counter canter. Then this is also showing just a little more forward canter. And again, that I can go to a little bit of counter canter and he doesn't think or anticipate about doing a change. And then here I actually do ride a flying change just because he felt very imbalanced and like he was ready to do it. Okay, so now we'll go to our exercise of the day. And so what the exercise is to help with the flying changes is we're going to use the quarter lines, and we're going to make simple changes on the quarter lines. So it will be canter, walk, and then pick up the counter canter, and walk, and then pick up the true canter. So this is a great exercise to practice getting ready for your flying changes. So here I start, I go on the quarter line, I prepare and make a transition to the walk, change the bend, change my leg position, and counter canter. And then again, before I get to the end, I collect, make a walk transition, and then canter on the true lead. Good. So those were both pretty smooth, and I feel like he was listening pretty well to my leg. So here's another example. This time you'll see he gets a little bit tense and he brings his neck up in the transition. So you see when I go walk canter, you see his under neck muscle got a little bit tight. He brought his neck up, so that tells me that he just needs to be a little bit more confirmed and supple to my leg so that when I do the walk to canter, his neck stays down and through. A flying change is basically a simple change, only you don't have the walk to canter transition. You just stay in the canter. That was good. That was good. And then here I set him up again as if I'm going to do the walk canter, but instead I do a flying change. And you saw there how I asked and he didn't do the change on my aid. He did the change one stride after my aid. So again, I just simply walk and pick up the canter so that I rehearse that aid. The walk to canter transition, that aid is the same aid as the flying change. So here again, I'm in the counter canter, and then I'm preparing him, and he does the change that time clean and on my aid. And it's also important to reward your horse. That right away, if they do a change, you walk, you give them a moment to relax. So here I'm preparing him. I asked for the change. So that time I didn't do the simple change. I just went right to the flying change. And again, good. And then again, walk and reward him. So step 3, which we've already started doing, is once you have the clean, simple changes, you go right to the flying changes. You eliminate the few walk steps and you set your horse up in the same way, but you stay in the canter and ask for the change. And you can see how Gatsby, he still has some mistakes sometimes. He doesn't always change on my aid. He'll be late sometimes or early, and you just have to keep going and repeating. That was a good change. And you see my clear leg position, my outside leg is back. When I asked for the change, my right leg came forward there. So that's really important that you have consistent and steady leg position.